What's your name?
Richard.
Richard. Nice to meet you again. Totally fresh, totally new. So let's see what the day wants, huh? The afternoon. Please feel free to speak if there's anything you like to share. If you like to come and sit together and shine the light on whatever wants to be radiant. And really nothing has to happen. Please make yourself comfortable. Lay down and have a sleep if your body likes that. Yeah.
I just wanted to say, I am filming, and if anyone's doesn't want to be a part of that, they just let me know afterwards and I'll edit it out. Yeah.
And the camera goes only here to those two there. Or do you?
No, it's just
the
couch. Yeah.
And what's it for?
Mike's website.
There are quite some people who really enjoy the videos, and and Dale is available for this. So easy, huh? If it's too cold, we can close that door there in the back, because there is a bit of a draft.
Is that blue light on the thing?
Yes.
Oh, that's
blue.
So I guess I want to bring up, I feel like I've sort of exposed myself to a sort of abusive relationship. And I just wonder why I need to do that. I can see that sort of like my mom, like just wanting to please and wanting to get it right, and I'm not sure. There's something about it that's disturbing me. Like I don't feel good about doing it. But I sort of made a commitment I've been working for this person, I've made a commitment, and she's leaving, so I don't want to pull out of that, and leave her hanging at the last moment. She's going away for 6 months. But I just want, I feel like my boundaries aren't good, and in any moment when something happens that doesn't feel good for me, I'm usually like, I get sort of freeze up and just want to get away as quickly as possible and not so I'm not really present in the moment. And I just wanted to bring that because it's been disturbing me for some time.
Thanks for bringing it so vulnerably. So let's just start with the basics. Who's in charge of it all?
Me. Okay, so but not me.
Let's inquire into that. Who's that me that you're talking about? we all know this, so, it's like, I can have that conversation with myself, because we all know it, but just, I'm not trying to bypass, I'm just trying to get clear first, so that we can have a conversation, because otherwise it will just spin in the contracted sense of I.
Okay, so I guess it's the personality.
It's the personality.
Tendency to...
Beautiful. So what is the personality actually?
A habit.
A habit. Wow, beautiful. And how clear you are. It's clearly seen. So does the personality have any say in what the personality is supposed to do? Oh, you're so beautiful. We all know it, don't we? Don't we? Is there anybody here who doesn't know this whole setup? Yeah, we all know it. Yeah.
No, I would say no. It's just running on autopilot. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what my system also notices every time. There's a disturbance or a contraction. It's like, wow, it just does its thing. Yeah. So just, seeing that so clearly. My system gets a breath. Yeah. Yeah, your system too. There it goes. So now let's introduce some ideas that it should be different.
Yes, well, that creates stress.
Immense stress. Freak out, terror. And does it work? That's the other. No, it does not work. Yeah, never. At least in my experience, has not worked once. Not once. Not once.
That's true.
Yeah. So now from here, since that is so clear, that personality, the sweetest pie ever. Isn't it? It's trying, it's trying. It's trying. And then on top of it, it's angry with itself and upset with itself that it's still doing the same. Oh man. Let's just snuggle that one into our heart for a moment, if we can, all together, It's doing its best. And it doesn't know better up until now. Because it's also never really been seen and acknowledged, isn't it?
I mean, it feels very little. It feels very young. Yes. Definitely feels very young. Yeah.
Oh, let's snuggle and cuddle that little young one. Look, it loves it. Just letting it know it can't make a mistake. It can't. That's not how life, existence, or this mysterious whatever it is works. It doesn't go like that with mistakes or better or worse. That's the mind. Yeah. And nothing wrong with the mind either. It's like also set up of, it made itself somehow. It's just nice when even mind can see. It's not up to mind. It's not up to anything. Isn't it? Yeah. There was a but. I can hear the but. Yes, let it come. Let the but come.
Sure, exactly. I guess I want to be in control.
Oh, too. So want to be in control, man.
So I want to feel like I can choose.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. 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 Especially when it's so painful. When it's painful to be with ourselves in community. Oh, it's terror for us when it doesn't move smoothly together, isn't it? It's like immediate sense of separation, immediate sense of totally on our own, terror. It's like poison for our systems, isn't it? That sense of being on our own, alone. Oh, God, I have got to keep it together and fight for our right, or create boundaries, create this, create that. There was something you wanted to say?
Yeah, it's sort of being on my own feels actually very familiar, It actually doesn't create terror, it sort of feels familiar. It's like, yes, that's what I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And look a little bit deeper, look at the terror that is in there. And I'm not talking about being alone, all one.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Yeah. I'm talking about that, the tiniest bit of contraction in our system that creates separation. And we're so used to it, our systems are so used to it, but look how the world is, in which state it is, our universe here.
In a way, I feel like the opposite's more true for me. It's more like intimacy creates terror. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I feel like it's more like that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand, because it is so rare that there is somebody showing up fully without wanting anything from you. Yeah. I mean, just for young beings, young children, babies, whatever, if they can't just grow in an environment where, where they know all is well, they know they have to manipulate the environment so that they can grow. Yeah. So that they get a little bit of a sense of safety. And I'm not saying that to blame or anything. I mean, I don't know why it all evolved in this way. It's just so nice to have a moment to see clearly, to really see clearly. There's that yearning in most of us for fully being seen and received and felt. An absolute freedom where nothing has to be different. Like the trees, or like the bushes, or like the birds. I mean, if we are a little bit sane, we're not going to say, oh, this bird, look, it's not so nice. We wouldn't if we are clear. But we do that with ourselves constantly. And others. Yeah. So what we actually long for is that, God, being at ease where we are, with what we are, with whom we are. And that's rare. That's rare. I don't know if that exists ever, anywhere. I don't know. When we're coming close, I find that. But, I mean, everyone is kind of on their journey, and sometimes I get a sense of some native tribes, people, there's still a sense of connection, a different sense of connection. But even that is getting so disturbed. So that's why, I'm not coming out for bullshit anymore. I'm not showing myself if there's not really somebody showing up. No way, I better stay by myself, all alone. I'm used to it anyway, from day one. Been trained, to have to do it all myself. And So that's our situation, isn't it? Here we are. Everybody somehow on their own, with themselves, and kind of comfortable with that, and scratch a little bit that longing of, oh, is there anybody out there? Do I ever get that full sense of connection? The oneness that everybody is talking about.
You don't experience that with yourself?
You know, I would say it's an ongoing journey. I mean, you know, from this point here, I can say I've never felt it more than now. You know, but you just don't know how. And I'm seeing in my environment, you know, how it relates. Because everything is a reflection, we know that. Everything reflects itself constantly in countless reflections. So I'm kind of with every reflection, or whatever it reflects to itself, it's interested to see itself as itself. And then sometimes it's easier and sometimes it's not so easy. But it knows that there is no separation. Ever. That's the lucky bit. But it doesn't experience it all the time. No, can't say that. But it knows. Yeah. And then there's that dancer, this what we call Maya or illusion or what. It's like, wow, and it has, how many faces does it have? Endless. Endless. So back to your to your beautiful little movie. Melodrama, yeah. So from here is a bit different, isn't it? The perspective. Yeah.
And also just that thing that it should be different. Yeah. Just take that off already.
Yeah.
It's just super.
Yeah.
Relaxes the whole thing.
Thanks for bringing that. It's so beautiful. I mean, that's what we all deal with every day. It doesn't need much to trigger our systems, doesn't it? Yeah, and because they are 100% on automatic. They are hardwired. But what I can see is that they do move and create new neural pathways or new patterns when there is a seeing, when there's a clear seeing of, ooh, doesn't need to do this anymore. I mean, and I'm sure, you know.
It's the surrender. I mean, maybe I don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
That's true. Maybe I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but sometimes, you know, then I feel like then I would have to just cut off and say, okay, that's it. I don't want to do it anymore, finished. But that feels like a separation.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I think, well, maybe there's a better way. I mean, you know, I feel like, well, maybe there's a better way. I don't know. I mean, the only way I can see it at present is to just say, well, that's it. I'm stopping.
But that is so beautiful, what you just said. You know, the first part, you know, when you said you just cut off, that's the mind, isn't it? It has an idea, oh, if I just cut off, then, you know,
End of problem. Until the next one.
And then, yes, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah. And then you said something else, but, you know, what if I don't know what's next? But I would love to, that it could move in a certain way, but I don't know how. Yeah. That's when life comes out to itself. It's free, isn't it? It's like then, it has no clue what comes next, which is the truth. It never knows. But that's when for the first time something can move differently, isn't it? And we have no clue how it will.
Okay, yeah. But just, even just the desire for something
Just
different.
Yes. Yeah, just that, without having an idea. That's life at its finest, actually. That's when a child just plays and has no clue what's next and picks up a little rock, picks up a little stick, and all of a sudden comes, look, mom or dad or whoever, what I just did and what I found. Did not have a clue, but wow, something new.
And yeah, I also feel like that somehow that has also caused me to stay in a situation because it's a sort of hope. I don't know. I mean, just.
And that is seen. That is seen. Hands off. Honoring. It has stayed in situations. It didn't know better. Yes, it's okay. That's okay. You tried your best and you didn't know better. And you so long for something new. Yes, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's when the child, it falls over. It's all of a sudden it starts running, for example, and then it falls. It's, I did so well and now I fell over and look, my knees are bleeding. And you go, yes, it's okay. You go a bit slower, let's clean that. It's okay, you didn't make a mistake. It's that gentleness with itself when it sees. When it sees without any judgment, without any leaning into any direction, just sees, and it opens the heart so deeply. Oh, yes, I can see, come on here. I see how painful it is. And we don't know better right now. It's so yummy when it softens for a moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is so. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is so.
Because, the truth is, if we had a choice or if we could do it, oh man, how would we live together? I have these visions sometimes, knowing what's possible. And sometimes it feels like this when we come together. When we get really clear. It's everyone has been on this journey for so long and there is so much potential here. So there's also not so much space to not be clean and clear, because everyone, it comes so quickly together in a field like this. I love that. There's no tolerance for much chit-chat and bullshit. It's sharp. So we will see where it goes from here. Oh, thank you. Really beautiful. Love this. Also that other being that's involved. Oh, God, also has no clue how to be. Yeah. sort of touched a lot of course very much, and about contraction and not having control of contraction and softening. And yesterday I've been having an ongoing shoulder inflammation thing for quite a few months, and my mind always wants to know what's at the cause of it. And I was actually having a pranio session yesterday, and at the same time it's just being really open to seeing what's deeper and sort of, owning it, and it's in here. And then all of a sudden this sort of memory popped open of when I came to Australia and the man that I was with then, that I'd married, and it's quite raw actually. I didn't know that there was just such a disappointment about the way it didn't. And I'd had prior to that I'd had a sort of pattern with other marriages that had where I'd been left, and that whole sort of patterning, and anyway it just sort of popped open, and rather than it being a mental thing, it was really a feeling, and I welcomed that, and the seeing and the insight, and just so surprised. I mean, that's like 30 years that's been kind of like a contraction must have happened that then I couldn't bear to feel, and I scrambled all over it with all sorts of other stuff, and I feel there's this real willingness and wanting now to, almost it's just too painful to keep contracting over, and it's at the same time it's very scary and vulnerable, and what else might, and then living in that feeling side, you feel it's the feeling of everything, and like you were saying, it's what will the world have to be for me to show up and come out? And for me it's been like, it's got to be safe,
yes,
and everyone's got to be in their hearts, and it's just not like that, except when we come together, and I think I've always had that sort of, my mechanism is to protect, and put this sort of protection around, and I know that's sort of like something really tipped over yesterday, and then I woke up this morning almost overwhelmed. Usually I couldn't hold myself in that space, but I couldn't. So I thought, I texted Samadhi and just sort of said, could I come here? And I don't really know what the question is, but about the control and the contraction, and I guess it's just to let it, to be in that vulnerable, regardless of what comes from the outside. And then there's the other mechanism is that then I criticise and judge myself, and that my life's been a failure, and I've never been able to have intimacy, and because it's been so long, and it's probably from that deep fear of not willing to feel pain.
Yeah.
So. And I can do all the the inquiring sort of, but it can be mental, or it can be somehow this feels like it it's just how to allow that more, I suppose, how to feel.
Isn't that the most beautiful question? It feels so alive to me and so available.
and not having a clue how, because we don't know. But just that question comes, how to be more open, or because that's what we live for, actually, isn't it? Anything else? We have lived that now for so long, but it's tiring, huh? So I find that exquisite, what you just shared. Also that you take the courage to share in the space. I mean, that's the biggest compliment that you can make to the space, actually. You feel safe enough to share that vulnerably.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it's time. It feels like it's time
Yeah.
to be not safe.
Yeah, what I can see, I mean, just speaking from my own experience, having, at one point it just started with not hiding so much anymore, not just being curled up in the corner somewhere and playing dead. And all of a sudden it's, it turned a corner. It's like, oh, man, that's actually makes it much more safer. It feels much more safe to be vulnerable. Because I don't want anything from anybody. But that, as long as there was a wanting from another, of course, it would be, you would get a smack all the time. But when it does it just because it does it, oh man, that's the best ever, isn't it? That's what I'm sensing, actually. It's the time. It's the time to... It comes out by itself. And we notice. Because even that is not under control, isn't it? No. And it also doesn't know yet, all the time, how much it can come out without going into overwhelm. It's still trying to adjust to... It's like, oh, there was a bit too much, maybe, But it learns so quickly. It's so intelligent, this existence, isn't it? It learns so quickly. Especially if there's a bit of gentleness involved.
That's the key word.
Yeah.
The softness and the
softness and the heart. So, very exciting your sharing from me.
I was so afraid to didn't even think about sharing it. So I'll just come sit, but somehow, thanks to Sophie opening up you said something, I took it right inside of me while you were talking. That longing that we could all live from our feeling side and our being side, and not have to do this, this contracting, hardening, and just coming from that. It's just unbearable to me, really. It's unbearable. And I'd feel like, there's this extreme, that's sort of like things are happening in the world that are more and more like that, and then at the other side there's the opening, and that's where I want to be.
Yes.
And then finding a way of, just being with harsh things that come along, and not shutting down and doing that, but just actually realising that. Like yesterday I was just stepping onto the highway from Brunswick, and I wasn't doing anything wrong or going slow, but this car behind me was just honking at me so violently, and I thought, oh, maybe my back door's open or something's falling off my van, and I got, and then it kept on, and we were going off the slip road, and he just put his foot down and just zoomed off, and it was like, wow, that's so traumatic. And in the past I probably would have got really, aggressive, but I knew that doesn't help. And that sort of did something. Just had to be, just how to be with, there's many traumatic events that happen in life without contracting and without, and I suppose that's what it, it's having courage to be true to what I love most, which isn't comfortable always. And this thing about also, you talked about it, all worrying what people are going to think about you and what they're going to say. That was such a childhood patterning and upbringing, and so obsolete and old.
Yeah, that's been the training for most of the human beings on the planet, from the get-go, feeling separate and having to do it right, and never being able to do it right. Oh, what a catastrophe! Huh? Oh yes, I was longing for having the door closed. Just close it fully, Dale. Can you? Yeah. Thank you. This door is open. Yeah. What a setup. Coming into this life, still being in the timeless, spaceless, and being trained from day one, being separate. Huh? Oh, shock! Oh, shock!
That's the first shock.
That's maybe, yeah. Maybe that was already in the sperm and the egg was already all there. Who knows what the shock?
And in the womb.
And then in the womb. And, oh man. But then
Not to mention previous lifetime.
oh no, Yeah. Better come as a fly next time.
Or a flower.
Oh, Mozzie.
Quick.
Yeah, quick. One day.
Then what?
Yeah, and then
What
again.
happens after that?
Then again. We'll see.
Another fly?
We'll see. Yeah. It's so creative, huh? It's so creative. And then how lucky, huh? That the same intelligence blows us in here to explore, or to grow, or to be together like this. That we get a moment of clear seeing, a moment of maybe a bit of relaxation here and there, a moment of togetherness, the way we do. Yeah. Me too. So grateful. God. Enough food to eat and no war. Wow. The time and space to grow new neural pathways that maybe create a different environment, huh? Oh, lucky.
I've been really struggling with something for a while.
Yeah.
I've been struggling with an elder. I once asked a local elder, a woman, what was my job as an elder? What's my job to be an elder? I don't remember. I have never been told. Nobody ever showed me the way. And she said to make sure everything's okay around you. And I just see so much. It's traumatic actually to do that. And I've been struggling because I get angry. I just get cranky. And I'm like, this is kind of obvious. What's missing here? And sometimes I'm like today, I saw some kids, they were going to go sliding down the dunes. And so initially when I would see people doing that, I would get cranky. But then I just kind of created a new approach for me, which was that I'd stop feeling so angry towards the people and feel that they didn't know. And then I'd go, okay, I want to tell you guys a story, because they're usually kids, adults nowhere to be seen or busy doing something else. And I'd say, look, you know, I'd just tell them the story of the critters that die when the big trucks come in and or the big graders come in and take all of the sand and build up these big dunes for the ocean to take away. And then they go sliding down them, which actually hastens the trucks coming back and starting that cycle again. And for me, like I walk my dog on the beach nearly every day, and it's painful for me to feel that that's going to come back and be hastened by our own lack of awareness of what we're doing to the dunes. And so I would tell them the story and then I just walk away. Sometimes. Or else I'll get, oh, I know about that, and I just go, okay, no, just don't. Just have some respect for country and care for country. But I struggle with that because I'm such a protector. I'm such a warrior. It's like, no, what are you doing? And I know that it costs me. My heart rate goes up and I feel anxious, and then I feel a bit scared that I'm going to get attacked back. And I just want to stop on some level. And part of me is like, I don't want to go out. I don't want to see this because it's so painful to me. So when you were speaking, it was enabling me to kind of go, okay, I can just hold that aspect of myself in love again. Just in love.
That's delicious.
So sweet.
Yum, yum, yum. No, we are so lucky, aren't we? Just that seeing comes in whenever it comes. That makes the difference.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
I can just hold that aspect of myself that wants to just go.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can also feel the beautiful intention behind it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
it has such a pure intention behind it. It just wants it all in the most beautiful way.
Not this kind of, I have the right, I'm entitled to do this, regardless of anything else around me, regardless of any future, any past, anything. I want to do this now and I'm going to do it. And I just find that so scary. That scares me more than anything. At least some of these kids that are coming in have this idea that they can just do whatever they want. Whatever they want.
I mean, I like how you speak that I that is speaking, that is very scared of itself, isn't it? In itself.
Yeah.
Because it's contracted.
It is.
It's that I we are normally talking about is always contracted.
Yeah.
It's separate
Yeah.
and it's scared.
Yeah.
Scared to death.
Yeah.
So of course, it has all these ideas then, and it tries to compensate, and it tries everything until it sees for one moment that it actually doesn't even exist. Wow, huh? That it can never figure anything out, that never will have a clue about anything. It doesn't matter how many books it reads or studies or scientific researches, it will never know what's going on here. Ever. It has no clue.
And no control.
No control.
Zero.
No clue. Isn't it?
Yeah.
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 You're right.
And when it sees it, boy, that moment is like, whoa!
I'm glad I'm laughing, otherwise I'll be crying.
Oh,
Whatever.
let's see, when it wants to cry,
Yeah.
then it wants to cry. It's just like that, isn't it? As if we had control over that.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
control.
No control. Thanks for sharing all of that.
Thanks. Thanks for opening the space.
Yeah.
Really allowing that for me to rock that aspect. Rock that. So you did have a really lovely deep cut of that.
That sense of I, man, it's strong. Huh? Golly gosh, it's strong. God. Sweet pie. Howard, your turn.
Pretty much the same. Just leaving to come here, there was like talking to there was this bewilderment about the planet and these clashes that we were talking about there, and then exploration internally that what's inside is also like reflected outside, and it's such a mystery and such a ride and a journey and not knowing. Totally can feel the same things that all you are speaking and that everyone's speaking and feeling, and like this very subtle, some deep sadness there, despair about everything, bewilderment, and yet at the same time there's this joy. Why? and it's not sensible,
No.
I actually love the deep despair, like and this aloneness, like you were speaking before, but lonely, alone, fear, such strong pain, and just the opposite of those also, like there's somehow they contain their opposite as well, and so it's like it goes so deep with allowing that feeling, that sensitivity. And it's like, whoa, that's so much.
Life-filling, huh?
and loving that this space is here, and somehow it's okay to even actually speak about these things, let alone just being. Very unsure about family and how to relate in families, and it seems this is more like what a family. I thought a family was about. Other people's families, life. What is it? How do you do it? So conditional. Not free. Not.
Yeah.
I mean, there is love also, so it's kind of. It's very confusing.
Yes.
And it's so contradictory, and so I guess that's life in general, and humans, and relating to each other, and in all the different ways, and with all the differences. And it's all going on up here, and down here, under here, there's this strong, or very, they're actually very soft sort of feelings, and that aren't addressed up here. It's almost like they're controlled up here, not allowed. And I've tried it a few times, that comes out, and it's slammed,
Yeah.
I'm like, you just get slammed, and it's so painful too. So, and you were speaking about, so then maybe you go hide, or this doesn't want to be seen when that happens, or doesn't want to be exposed, or I can.
Makes sense. Makes totally sense. Makes totally sense. I mean, why would it expose itself when it gets slapped every time it's exposing itself?
Yes.
I mean, of course, after a while it says, no, thanks a lot. But it depends when it had to wire itself like that. Because if it's really young, then it's still in a need to be looked after by mother, father, whoever's the caregiver.
Yeah.
So it will reach out, and it will even take a smack every time, or it will take everything, because that's the only thing it knows. At least it gets that attention. Until maybe it can see it. But it's difficult. It's difficult for a young being to see that, because it's in a need. A young being needs another one that it looks after it. Otherwise it dies. It feels that threatening.
Yeah.
So it will come out and run after that same pattern forever and ever, and gets blown up and smacked and trashed and all of it. But that's better than nothing, because if it doesn't have that, it thinks it dies on its own. So you're lucky that you don't show that anymore. So that maybe means that there's something older going on already, that it doesn't show itself. But I mean, I know for some of us, we still come out and ask somebody in our environment for that same pattern, just to get a smack every time we come out, because that's the only thing we know. Oh, terrible, huh? Oh, man. And I know that in my own experience. I mean, I don't know for how long my system had to do that in relationship, asking for something, not even knowing what, and actually wanting that from my parents, I guess. But then, because it never got it, so then it's asking for that in relationship. Asking the man for something, and they never knew what I wanted. And so I would just, every time they would just say, what the heck is wrong with you? It's, oh, God! And I would curl up in the corner again. But next moment I would come again to ask for the same response. Because there was that deep longing, it needed something. The system needed something that it didn't get. So it would rather take that than nothing, because by itself it thought it would die. Stories. Oh.
Only how that's sort of still playing now, even though there's an adult body and time's gone by. And
yes.
It's still
being
acted out.
Yes, it's still sitting there and waiting to be met. So that it can complete itself, so that it can grow and move on. It's actually very simple, but if it doesn't find it anywhere, it goes for the old familiar. And it's really scared to come out. It's really, really scared.
It's almost like there is a hand waiting to go.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
that, like you can.
Yeah.
I feel that in like a memory, a body memory, like the whole body just freezes.
Yes.
It's expecting to be hit. It's just terror.
Yes.
And it's survival.
Yes.
Very strong.
Very strong.
And you can't breathe like that either.
Exactly. Isn't it amazing, Howard, that we can share this? That there is a space. I mean, and I'm sure that everyone here knows it in their own variation, their own version of it. And we can share this here with each other.
I know it very well. Thank you.
I know it very well.
There are more. Yeah, me too. I mean, we just shared. We know it.
Can it be met inside though? Does it have to be met outside, or can it be met inside?
Can be met inside. And that's so beautiful. When there's a felt sense of it, then it reflects itself also like that. And in the end, we don't know anymore where's inside and outside then, but in this realm, inside. From in this dimension, inside. It's like, the most simplest picture maybe, that works for me. And I'm sure you all maybe have seen it and experienced it too. When mother and baby are in harmony, when they're just this. Just recently my stepdaughter had a baby. It's already nearly 2.5 years old. And she wanted her so badly. She wanted that baby so badly. And when I was seeing the two of them, it was like something inside of my system was just melting. And then I was asking myself, do I want to be the baby or do I want to be the mama? And I was so clear, I want to be the mama and the baby. Because it was that the receiver and the giver disappeared. It was one organism. It was so clear. Mother wasn't giving anything and baby wasn't receiving, and baby wasn't giving anything and mother wasn't receiving. It was one organism. Yes, exactly. And there comes the breath. You know that. Yeah. And that's it. That's how our systems grow. in this dimension, on this level of existence, or whatever you want to call this. Yeah. And if we have never gotten that, for whatever reason, you know, our mothers in war, or look at their lives. I mean, fathers too. It was like, oh man. So if we didn't get that for any reason, we're still longing for it, so that we can unfold and complete ourselves. And that's what we do now. So we meet ourselves now like this, as much as possible. And it needs this.
It's rather another thing here. Sometimes you see parents with their children, their fathers and mothers, just so beautiful. And it touches me so much to see a different pattern, you know. It's so beautiful when you see them just really talk, you know, really present with their kids. And
Yeah, and it does something in us, huh? Yes. It's just that witnessing, it mirrors itself. Best medicine. And also that it's still available. That is so amazing, isn't it? Doesn't matter how old it is, I mean in physical form, it does not matter at all. Yeah. When it witnesses that one organism, it knows. It's at home immediately. And even just speaking it, you know, just giving that picture.
I've been down in Sydney and I was looking after my grandchildren, and something happened where he was just playing with them, and suddenly I did something, you know, didn't do what they wanted, and suddenly they were just screaming at me, and it's like, oh, it's all right, stop, you know, this is not fun, I'm not playing anymore, and it was like, but something got triggered, very, very powerful, you know, it was so, and then my older granddaughter's screaming at me, she said, yeah, I'm going to get you fired, you know, you'll never look after us again, I'm going to call Mom and you'll be fired. And I was so hurt.
Yeah. No worries. Thank you.
And then I wanted to leave, you know, I wanted to just piss off and leave them, and I knew that I couldn't, and I ended up, I lay down on the couch, and I was just so, all this anger and hurt, and then my mind was coming up with these mean things to say to them, you know, blaming them and making them wrong, and then I was just lying there, and my older granddaughter came and sat next to me, and I could feel like she was, but it was very intense, you know, the feelings were so strong. And in the past I had actually, like last time I was there, I pushed my little granddaughter off the arm of the couch, you know, into the couch, not onto the floor, but she was really hurt, and I was not physically, but, you know, her being was hurt by being treated like that, you know, I could really feel that, you know. And I've also told them, oh yeah, you know, that was blah, 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 you know. And this time I just processed it internally somehow. I just felt it all and held it, and then finally I just got up, did something in the kitchen, and it was completely gone, and I didn't have to make them wrong or anything. They didn't ask me what happened. It was just over. Yeah. Completely over. And I mean, I was so proud of that, you know. I felt like, wow, I found a different way.
Wow.
I didn't piss off, I didn't make them wrong.
Wow.
I didn't push them or anything, and wow. I don't know. For me, that was like, I mean, at the time, I felt like, oh my God, what a failure, you know, because it was just so strong and I couldn't deal with the situation. But afterwards, I thought, wow, actually. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my little story with children.
I liked it when you said from the beginning, in the end, and just even looking what we call the other or integrating the other. I mean, this is always, it's with children or with animals, it's always one part. We are looking at the same, and when this is really understood, then there is no problem or whatever, just saying, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mother, it's it has to be seen. And it's not my fault, their fault, whatever, it's just one thing. No, it's just now being explored or being lived. And sometimes it has symptoms, and sometimes it has no symptoms. And sometimes you get sick or the other vanishes out of our life. It's just okay. Can you do?
Not much.
Nothing. Not much. No, just a little scream or running away, but it comes back anyway.
Yeah. What a relief, huh?
That's beautiful.
It's so good to give everything permission to just really be the way that it is. And sitting here, it's like a little permission field, because you can just drop in and all these, what everyone shares, we all know. And it's all of, it's all of me, all these, and it's the gift of, really just the gift of allowing, and it's taking off the old imposed, how it, one should look a certain way and behave a certain way. And I mean, that was so strong for me growing up in England.
Oh, I can imagine.
We had these kind of really rigid Victorian school mistresses, and I kind of grew up in terror, and it's sort of like imprinted, and it's really great to not to try and change that, but it relaxes in the seeing.
Yes, it relaxes in the
It relaxes, and it's not, and I've done a lot of comparing myself, I should look so like this, and my life doesn't, and that's such an English thing as well. It's so strong, and
I think it's international.
I think so too, to be honest.
Oh, it's very international.
Yeah.
We have a deer. International band.
I mean, I can just go on Facebook sometimes, and it's like going, oh my God, I've just a great big ball of tension. I'm not doing that. I'm not going there. I'm not all these things that come in what I want to scroll, and chuck it away, put it down, I don't want to see it. I'm so enjoying waking up in my lovely bed, and why do I want to do that? But then doing it with that awareness, because it really does trigger.
Yeah.
It's a good for triggering.
Yeah.
It's also good to
If you want to trigger,
Just go on Facebook.
See how spiritual you are. See how spiritual I am. Yeah.
What about seeing what I ate for breakfast? People take those as the food they're eating and all that.
So nobody comes to sit with me today because of the camera? I'm just wondering. Yeah, probably.
I feel a little bit like that.
I forgot about it. I forgot about it.
Oh,
It's very strong, that permission thing. I was feeling the very same again too, like strong, it's like permission, I'm not allowed. It's such a, I guess it goes right through childhood, you just have that whole, I guess it's pretty normal, usual. So, it feels so strong. And, it's like on guard to make sure that you're, doing the right thing, sort of thing. But it seems unusual to have the permission. I'm not sure where the permission comes from, actually, to actually.
the permission comes from, and it's an effortless permission.
Yeah.
It comes from just seeing.
Yeah.
Just this, when it's just seeing, it comes back to the heart. And then it's okay. Yeah. So it's an effortless permission. The moment it is seen without any wanting it to be different, any judgment, any leaning into any direction, then it relaxes into itself. At least it considers sometimes. For some of us it relaxes into itself and sometimes it needs to consider, but I could feel how it was listening. You felt that too? Yeah.
Not necessarily ready to fully jump, but
yes, but just that it starts to, that it could hear it and that it considers. Wow. And then again, wow. Hands off. Wow. Wow. It considers.
it's different.
It's up to it then, if it falls back into itself or where it needs to be. But it's natural. It does it exactly the way it needs to do it. And it's seen. Oh, I love how it listens. Oh, I can so feel how it stops and listens.
It's very, very sweet and natural because it's so close. It's not imposed. It's very, very touch. Such not something I can work out.
No.
something I have to work at. That's kind of easy. But again, grateful, very grateful for that space that it's allowed. Very grateful for. I can. Even slight unsure as to.
Such a powerful field, huh?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for this field. However you all do it. However it's doing itself. Huh?
It's such a natural state, no? It's always there.
It's home, isn't it?
It's so natural, so beautiful. It's so healthy that we will
Feels.
that's what.
So right, Howard?
It's just very. Well, it's really just beautiful.
Thank you.
And it's been for some time, like this whole place. Meetings with you and Isaac and many others and many places and spaces all devoted to this. And how?
No clue.
Some things just allowed.
By itself, huh? Allowed by itself.
And something's interested in that. It just keeps following it.
Yeah.
That's not normally allowed.
It's not, I mean, most of the others, so-called others, are not interested, huh? It's like, what?
You're meant
How?
to be doing all this
How's
other
that
stuff.
possible? They run and collapse and chronic fatigue and run again and fight and all of that. And wow, no interest whatsoever. Lucky us. So blessed.
Yeah, for this you have to stop. You have to stop.
But you can't do it.
No, it happens or it doesn't.
It happens or it doesn't.
You're
It's
still
like,
on the
if you could do it, you
Just
would.
in the race, you are achieving something.
Ah. Is it still doing it?
Yeah. Doing soft. Very fluent.
Want a tissue? Thank you. Thank you.
comfy enough? Kind of.
Kind of, huh? Yeah.
Can I sit up on the chair with you?
You can sit up on the chair and you can put your head in my lap if
Oh,
you
yeah, I
want.
want to do that. Can you be comfy?
Come. Come, you can put your feet up. Yeah, just like that. Feel a good rest. You can stay anyway. Or does anybody else want to come?
I recommend.
I thought the time was up, but we still have 10 minutes.
I think it was permeating the field anyway, because I was just
It was.
in a very quiet place. Occasionally I was like thinking about other things, but generally I was just feeling rest.
Me too. I felt everybody connecting. Connected beautifully.
I just have an idea, I don't know, maybe one time before you leave, maybe we can have here just on the floor that we all lay together.
Oh, Sonne.
Comfortably, just maybe back to back or just feet to feet and just having it from the physical, what we experience already from the mental.
With pleasure.
Yeah, no? Shall we try?
Anybody else interested in that?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to, anybody who likes comes down and the others are wherever they
whoever
want
wants to be on the,
Yeah.
on the heap, in the mire.
Yeah.
The teenagers call that the puppy paddle.
Yeah.
Puppy paddle.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I thought a cuddle puddle.
Cuddle paddle too, but also puppy paddle.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Spooning each other.
Spooning and cuddling.
Yeah. With pleasure.
We had it once.
We
in
can do that
Ghana.
next Saturday.
Yes, it would be lovely. It was so nice. And Gondwana one, when we had den Haufen zusammen.
In the whole, yeah.
Selby.
Yeah. Happened organically, huh?
Yeah. I think we are ready for it.
With pleasure.
Good.
We'll take the table away.
Sounds good.
Put the camera up there.
Give it a try.
Put it on the desk from there.
Yeah, no, I was just joking.
Ach so.
Everybody can bring a little mattress or something to make it more cozy.
Little blankie.
28th of August. So we have 2 more meetings here. And then in September, I think 21st or something like that, I will be back. September. Something. Yes.
Where are you going?
Melbourne and Perth and Denmark. I'm really looking forward.
I'm sure they are too.
Say again?
I'm sure they are too.
Yeah.
And what happened to Zoe? She's selling her house
Yeah, she's in Broome still.
and she wants to go somewhere else?
Yeah, more south.
South is where?
Around Perth, I think.
All right.
Fremantle.
Is there her daughter?
No, they are all in Denmark. But it's too cold for her in Denmark.
Yeah. But room is over now. Since like.
Yeah, when it's over, it's over.
Yeah.
She's still there.
Okay, for me was my interest is to live my life like this, not just sit in a group like this.
Yes!
Isn't it funny that someone putting one's head on the lap is an unusual?
Yeah.
But for me, this is my interest, is to live my life like that, not for it to be some kind of special occasion or living from that place.
Yes. Me too.
Me too, because anything else
Doesn't make
quite
sense.
painful.
Yeah. Nothing else makes sense. Yeah. I'm totally with you. And everybody else who is interested in this. Oh, God. We're just starting, huh? Isn't it wonderful? I love it.
I don't actually know that many people I can do that with. Actually, nobody can get in that.
Oh, here's a room full.
Try and get some parlour or something and sneak it in somewhere along the line.
That's the old way of thinking.
That's the old way.
It's like to be a special person.
Yeah. We're just starting. Yeah, we're just starting. We're just starting. And now, I mean, that's what I see in my life anyway. Now it's me, whatever I am, that it's inviting. It's not anymore that I'm looking for somebody to invite. That's been for half of my life, kind of. But now it has grown that much. Now it is inviting. And that's a different story. Yeah, now we are inviting. We're not going with the old anymore. No interest. Yeah, if you want to hang out, this is how I like it. If you're interested, otherwise leave it.
Leave to be honest.
Yeah, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Isn't it? That's how it, no thank you to that old paradigm. It's enough. We had enough.